Hello, everyone. Welcome to another Chatbox podcast. It's episode 41 here today of the Chatbox podcast. How are you all doing? Right, let's crack on. As you know, each week I have a guest to talk about their career, so let's crack on with this week's guest. It's broadcaster Scarlett Red. Hello, Scarlett. Welcome along. How are you today?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
I'm fine. Just podcasting today. Radio very soon, so I'm happy.
Brilliant. Always a good day when it's a podcast day.
5 questions about your broadcast career, if that's okay with you.
Of course. Yeah, go for it.
You ready to rumble in the jungle?
I am ready to rumble.
Let's go for it. Question 1. Where did you start your broadcast career?
At Canterbury Hospital Radio. I went at the Canterbury Hospital and I started volunteering there after someone suggested that I probably should, and I did, and I liked it. And then someone else heard me and said, "Oh, you should do this." And then Rod Lucas picked up on that and said, "Oh, I'm doing a show on this channel. Can you come and co-host?" And so I started snowballing from there.
Nice. Great start to your career. Question 2. Who were your inspirations in broadcasting growing up?
Well, I was born in the 80s and I grew up in the 90s. I absolutely loved Capital back in the day. And I did love listening to, funny enough, the likes of Neil Fox and on the charts. Chris Moyles used to do a show on Capital years ago. And I just found how hilarious, how cringy he made you feel like you wanted to cringe for the other person because he'd just take the mix so badly. And he made a good career out of that, actually. Never in a way that would really upset people, but in enough of a way to make them just feel like, oh, am I all right? Am I not all right? But I think broadcasts changed a lot nowadays and guidelines have changed a lot. So you wouldn't find him
Chris
doing too much
Tarrant.
of that.
And yeah, I
Chris
forgot
Tarrant,
to
I
say
love
Chris Tarrant.
Yes. He used to do a competition, I think, that my mum used to be obsessed with called the Bongs or something. And I think,
Have
oh,
you
Bong
ever
versus
met Chris Tarrant?
Bong.
Sorry to cut
Once,
across you.
yes, once. I have met him once, yeah.
Where was that?
It was at a party. Just it's like friend of friends party, house party thing. It wasn't even a
Nice.
house party, it was a party. In fact, I think it was, yeah, there was a, I think it was, yeah, no, it wasn't the Babe Station one. We had a party. You heard of Babe Station, right? Everyone's heard
Not
of Babe
really
Station. Oh,
appropriate
Sky
for
Channel.
this.
No, but it was not so much it wasn't adult, if you know what I mean. It was just they had a party because they were celebrating, Cellcast was celebrating, I think, something like 5 years on TV, for what it's worth. So there was some parties of that, which were quite fun. They were just literally just everybody was there. Everyone who was anyone was there, basically, along with half the boobed, breasted girls or whatever that were throwing themselves around on TV during the time. So
Nice. Yeah. Question 3. What is your favourite part about the job?
I love how you can always talk to somebody new. Um, you're always learning, and it's just really interesting hearing different. I enjoy talk radio quite a lot, and I do chat a lot as well. But I really like meeting people from all different walks of life, doing different jobs, different things, and I'm genuinely interested in people, and I think that's nice. But the even better than that is the music. I just love music, and not just one genre, all types of music, lots and lots, old and new.
My favourite song is Phil Collins' "Easy Lover" and Phil Bailey.
Do you like that one?
Yeah, have
Do
you
you?
heard it?
I've definitely heard that one. My kids take the mickey out of the oldest one because when he stinks, when he hasn't bathed for a while, they call him Cheesy Brother and they sing it to that song.
Good.
Cheesy Brother.
Phil Collins isn't very well at the moment, I've been told.
Oh, really?
His
I haven't heard
legs.
him for ages.
I
What's wrong with
think
his
it's
legs?
his legs. And he's got a
Oh,
back problem.
oh, sounds a bit interesting, that.
Arthritis.
Oh, okay, arthritis, yeah,
I
that can
think
affect
it's
people
his
when they get older.
age.
I think so. I mean, he's done quite well, really. I mean,
But
what
he
is he? Is
still
he?
does the singing. His
Does he
son
sing
just
still?
does the running around and the drumming.
That's great, though. It's good. It's good that his son's doing the drumming now, actually, because that's what he was known for, wasn't it? His drumming mainly, and in
Yeah,
Genesis. So yeah, it's good
yeah,
to hear he's
it's
still
good.
along.
Yeah, and one of my favourite songs is as well, as I heard on just before you came into the virtual studio, Iris Goo Goo Dolls,
Oh yes,
or
that's one
whatever
I
they're
haven't heard for
called.
a while. Yeah, it's Goo Goo
Dunno.
Dolls, isn't it?
Yeah.
Sure it is. I've t- We're both flying blind here. I'll have to have a look later. I'm actually curious. Actually, where's my phone? Let's have a look. I'm curious now. Goo Goo Dolls. Yeah, flying blind. Goo Goo Dolls. It is Goo Goo Dolls.
Yeah, 'cause
There you
good
go.
song
Iris.
that
Yeah,
is.
Iris, there we go. That is a very good tune. Yeah, I thought I for some reason you made me doubt whether I actually got the artist right or not, whether we got the artist right or not, because I know the song, but then it took you to say, "Is it Goo Goo Dolls?" I'm like, "Oh, is it? I don't know," because
That's
that's what
why
I do.
I can,
I'm
if
terrible with
ever I
names.
did Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, I'd end up talking to Jeremy Clarkson about cars.
That's really cool. Do you like cars?
Yeah, I'd end up talking to him about Top Gear and the Grand Tour days.
Oh, cool. Yeah, yeah, when they moved to Amazon, that was a bit of a shame, wasn't it?
All because Clarkson's temper got the better of him.
I know that was a shame. I feel
Everyone
as
knows that story, so we're not going to go there.
no, we all know that one.
Yeah, it was big news at the time.
Yeah, it really was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Went all over the place. It's a funny one because I don't know if do you feel they did the right thing when they got rid of him?
In hindsight, yes, but I'd have just expected a apology from the BBC saying
Yeah,
we'll move forward, because everybody at the time wrote a petition to say he shouldn't be sacked. A
yeah.
million people wrote a petition saying he shouldn't be sacked. Like I'm doing a petition now for a certain broadcaster, TB Tony Blackburn, to get
Okay.
him a CBE.
Oh, what you mean like an award?
Yeah, for his
Tony Black.
services to broadcasting.
No, he's got something, hasn't he? I can't remember what he's got though. But yeah, he should definitely have some sort of Queen's Award or something similar, or be awarded something because he's an absolute legend. He's one of many Radio Caroline legends, originally from the day.
Bruno should have an award.
Bruno. Yes, he
Brooks,
should. He's done a lot
because
too, actually. He's done quite a lot with himself. I think he runs his own thing now, doesn't he? Quite well as well. He
yeah,
runs his own
I think he's
thing.
yeah, it's good that yeah. Question
I think he was on
4.
briefly on Capital. I just suddenly remembered that. Yeah. Yep. Go on, question 4, sorry.
How has COVID? It's all right. We'll edit it out later. How has
Okay.
COVID affected your life and line of work?
Well, I think it's definitely affected all our lives quite heavily, but for us more so. Um, I was supposed to be shielding because I have no immune system from all the treatment from my condition, but I did go out. I was naughty, and what I did was spend the whole of lockdown delivering emergency packs to families that needed food and like supplies. And I did it for NHS workers as well because nobody could get anything. You remember everyone was panic buying everything in the supermarkets. And so off my own back, I just basically we just bought all these stuff, and then finally we managed to get people to donate the stuff. And it went from just me delivering every single day tirelessly till 10 in the evening because so many people needed things to a team of 26 volunteers. So that was quite good, quite
It's
a thing.
it's not really a crime. You weren't naughty. You were just helping the community in their time of
I was
need.
trying to help, absolutely. I was very saddened seeing elderly and vulnerable people not able to get anything because there were greedy people just clearing shelves. So I wanted to help. And then it turned into how many people were affected financially by it as well, where they'd lost jobs or weren't able to go back to work, and they were the ones that needed support. So I had carried on supporting them. And then this time on the second or third lockdown, actually, I did baby bags, so free baby supplies to families because the change had shifted. There were enough food banks that could help, but there was nowhere for baby supplies. So I just gave free baby bags out instead and did that. So I've tried to make myself useful during pandemics a bit.
Not like other people then who just blatantly don't care about the rules.
No, I think it's a shame because as well there were people like my partner as well who was a key worker who works at a school who was trying to keep everything going and trying to do everything right and you know and there's others that are just going out and just flouting the rules and there's those that don't have a choice like my partner and having that gamble not knowing whether he'd bring anything home to me as well but having no immune system and my children and yeah it's quite a thing. So quite a big thing.
Yeah, you're an inspiration.
I don't think so, but that's really sweet of you to say that.
No,
I
you
don't feel
are. No,
I don't like seeing people suffer. I hate that. That's one of my biggest
no,
bugbears.
no, no, I'm not saying that nastily. I think you are an inspiration.
Thank you. That's really
And
sweet. That means a lot. Thank you.
and doing that during lockdown when nobody else can. And I don't really think this country's ready to reopen on Monday, if I'm honest with you. If I'm brutally honest with you, reopen properly. When the cases are shooting up, when the deaths are going up, everything's
I
on the up. I don't think it's the right time now.
it's a difficult one because I think the reason they want to do it now is because if they do it later on, then there will be a higher death rate in the winter. That's what they were saying is they want to get in more immunity built now so that when it comes to the winter, that's the plan behind it basically. That's what they're saying. Whether that's a tangible, they've used medical knowledge and they're basically just being advised that that's the way forward to have the least deaths and the least problems. On the bright side, since we're all double jabbed, or getting our COVID vaccinations now, the death rate has plummeted down, but it's crept up a little bit, but it's not anywhere near on the level it was. So even though the cases are shooting up, we're not seeing a massive increase in deaths, and I think that's why they're trying to cautiously open things up. But it relies on the great British public, of course, using their common sense. And I'm very glad that TfL have ruled that everyone should still wear face masks on public transport because that's kind of a big place to get cramped and crowded and where germs can
What's
really spread.
what's TFML?
TfL, so Transport for London, they said that they'll be making it still compulsory to wear face masks, face coverings on public transport in London anyway. And
It's
I'm
only
totally
because that mayor geezer who's not a very good mayor.
thank you. I don't think anyone likes him that much, sadly.
That geezer who's not a very good mayor, if I'm not sounding disrespectful here, hasn't
You,
done a
you,
very
no,
good job.
he really hasn't. He is not. I mean, there's some people that are like, oh yeah, but I'm not one of the ones that agree with what he's been doing. Really, not really.
I
As a
don't
Londoner,
either. I don't
no.
agree
As
with
a
the
Londoner, I
government.
see it and I don't. Yeah, I mean, I don't think. I think they've done the best they can in this situation because we've never faced a pandemic before, and I can't really knock Boris or how they've tried to handle it because I think actually they're doing the best you can do when flying blind with the knowledge they've got, and I think they're doing the best they can. But it's I'm sure people would debate me on that definitely, but that's my opinion. Is I don't feel they've done an awful job. I think Boris has done a reasonable job at leading it through a difficult time, but there's going to be criticism either side, I'm sure, in some way or another.
Yeah, we just need to get through it.
We will, and we are getting there. I mean, we're not there yet. It's not over, and we're probably going to have it lurking in the background a while, but we're hoping eventually it'll be a bit more just like having a flu or something.
And
We're
and
hoping.
and I think if the cases rise, it'll be the events of what happened on Sunday that'll probably have been a tributing factor the small minority people.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
I mean,
don't.
you're always going to have that with transmission. I mean, we've had the anti-maskers, anti-vaxxers, we've had protests and all sorts of things that could help increase transmission. So I think it depends on what it is, but when it's a worthwhile cause, maybe like the marches that were needed last year or protests and things, then maybe that's a better thing. But then who knows? It's difficult, isn't it?
Yeah, it's hard. It's trying to find that balance.
Bottom, yeah,
And yeah,
definitely.
you're, as I said earlier, you're an inspiration for what you did over the lockdown. So well done.
You. I appreciate that a lot. Thanks. But I
I'm
think
just a
there were a lot of people doing it too. I think there were quite a few people coming out trying to help. Definitely.
yeah, and yeah, and yeah, and I respect that and honour that.
Same complete respect for anyone that works and the NHS staff and everybody, any care worker or key worker in supermarkets, everyone that helped keep the country running through its worst. I have total respect for every one of them.
I was just doing these during lockdown.
What, doing podcasts?
Yeah,
That's great. And I think that's a really sensible use of your time, actually. And it must be
helps
interesting. Of course it does.
helps people through a pandemic,
Yeah, of course. Yeah, definitely. And I
and
think
it'll
people enjoy watching them as well.
and it'll help people on the other side.
It will, definitely. You asked me how it affected my line of work. Well, I couldn't go out really, but then I did go out still, if that made sense. So I did that. I decided to stop doing any broadcast work during that time, and any voiceovers I just stopped because I also own a brand as well, like a shop, and we had to close the shop, and I had a lot of stuff and stress to deal with that as well on top of the other things. So I had
What's your
to.
shop?
It's a baby and children's shop, but it's a sustainable one. So it's like a community thing. So basically, um, yeah, just like new and secondhand children's bits to make it affordable for people in the area and stuff. So it
Yeah,
goes up to older children as well. But yeah, people tend to go mainly for the baby things. But
brilliant,
it made
brilliant.
that struggle though. It made us people were upset we were closed because some of them that was their main source of cheap clothing because they can get things for like 75p from us and 50p, and suddenly that option's gone. And that's why I started making bags and giving them out to people because it was like they needed it. So it's like, well, they can't come to my shop, so I have to deliver them some bits or whatever.
Brilliant. Last question on my list. What advice would you give to young, aspiring broadcasters who are starting out?
Talk to as many people as possible, network with people as much as possible, like you're doing as well. You're doing it very well. Reach out to people regularly. Start at hospital radio if you can. Hospital radio gives great experience, definitely with learning skills like Myriad or Selectra or whatever playout systems they use. Um, yeah, and work your way up. And yeah, just if you've got a disability as well, don't be put off working in these industries. You will find it a little harder. I found it harder, and I know many people with disabilities have found it difficult, but you can do it. You can do
Yeah,
it. And I think we're in a good time at the moment because we're in a time where prejudices are not as big as they once were. People are realizing that, there's lots of people with lots of different abilities, disabilities, and starting to finally embrace that and embrace the difference that we all have in us. And I think that's a really cool thing right now. It's an exciting time because I think people are keen to see more disabled people in broadcast, and I'd like to see that for one, definitely. And as I said, I
nice.
admire what you're doing because I think you're doing a good job here. I think you're helping to really, you know,
Bridge the gap.
yeah, you are actually, and you're doing it in a very good way. And I do hope that you manage to continue doing this because I think it's a big and good thing.
I'm not stopping. I'm
That's
carrying
fantastic.
on.
Good.
I've
Keep
had
doing it. You're doing
knocks
great.
over the years.
You sound like you've been through quite a similar thing to my daughter. And yeah,
I've had radio stations reject me, not even contact me back. So yeah, I'm used to that.
I wouldn't take that personally at all because actually that's the same for even neurotypical people and everybody. They do it to everyone. Honestly, they won't even get back sometimes. They'll just, but keep at it, because one will one day, and then you'll be glad they did.
Yeah. That's it for today. Thank you for joining us, Scarlett.
Pleasure.
Do join me again for another Chatbox podcast very soon. But for now, please give it up for Sam. Sorry, Scarlet Red. Do
You can call me
join
Sam
me
too,
again.
it's fine.
What?
You can call me Sam too. It's fine. It don't matter.
No, I'll
Scarlet Red's
call you
fine.
Scarlet because I got confused
Alright.
there. Sorry. Do join me again soon for another Chatbox podcast. But for now, thank you for watching and listening. But for now, as I always say, my biggest word, that's a right.